Check it out. New cut. Does it look fresh? New light. You can't really see it. Oh, you see that? It's pretty cool, huh? I don't really know how to use it yet at all. But anyway, let's get into the video. Today I wanted to talk about just being a bum and how I absolutely hate being a bum. And it's just the perfect word, though, to describe exactly the feeling of just doing nothing and knowing it, right? Having this self-awareness that what you're doing is stupid and that you're doing nothing. You're waking up at 12 every single day during the summer, and that it's low-key a shit summer. And you're not really doing what you want to be doing, but it's kind of what you want to be doing, playing video games, scrolling, watching porn, but it's not really what you want. And in the back of your mind, whenever you're doing these things, you just think to yourself, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life? That's always the question I ask myself whenever I get into these damn ruts. And if you've been, watching me, you can tell when it happens on the main channel. You can just tell when it happens. When there's month periods where I don't make a video, that's when I'm playing video games all day. I'm doing nothing. Absolutely nothing with my life. And those are the worst times in my life. I'm serious, like genuinely the times where I feel the worst about myself, where I wouldn't say I'm depressed, right? I don't think I've ever been depressed in my life. But it kind of gets to a point where I start thinking all the time to myself, what am I doing? I don't feel good about myself. And it stresses me out, and almost all the time, I kind of feel like shit in these ruts. But there's, for some reason, this force that just holds you there. Like, oh no, keep playing video games. Keep doing the dumb stuff. But in the back of your mind, you're just thinking, I should be doing other things with my time. Like, this is a fucking waste. A complete waste. And that's what's been going on for like past weeks for me. And it just keeps happening over and over. And I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. It's like top 5 worst things, like being a bum, like top 3 worst things and worst feelings. Because you know that you're being a bum, but you just don't do anything about it. I straight up, there have been times where literally I would be gooning, and during it, in the back of my mind, I think to myself, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing right now? Like, this is retarded. And I still do it, though. Like, you literally have that thought, and I'll have that thought, and then just, I'll keep going. Like, what? Am I insane? Am I crazy? I know exactly that, doing good habits is going to make me feel good about myself, and doing bad habits is going to make me feel like dog shit. Why do I choose to do the bad habits? I really don't know. It's like a choice, though. Why am I messing with my hair? Stop. It's a choice, though. Choosing to be a bum. And I was talking about it with my cousin a bit, and it's like the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing. Because you are self-aware that you're being a bum, that you're being an absolute degenerate, but you continue to do it anyway. And I hate that. I hate it so much, and it happens in these cycles for me. And I feel like at this point, this is when I'm starting to get out of it, or at least I feel like I am. And I don't want to say anything like promise I'm going to be doing like a million videos again, and I'm going to go crazy. And like every time I say that, and then I fall back into it. And that's my least favorite part about all of this. This is a cycle. I'll be doing so good, and then nope, buddy, you're playing 8 hours of video games a day again. You think you're great. You think you're doing fine. You got the habits down. You're locked in, bro. You're locked in. Winter Arc, monk mode. No, you're not. Next week, what are you doing? You're gooning again, and you're scrolling for 5 hours. So, are you locked in? It doesn't seem like it. It's just the most unfortunate cycle. It's like the regret and the pain that you feel during it. It's just a depression speedrun, bro. Depression speedrun. Stay up late, play video games all day, goon. What else? Scroll, eat junk food. Like, all of us are on this depression speedrun, and it needs to stop. I can see in myself that it needs to stop. Like, there just needs to be an end to it at a point where you say, I'm done. Like, that's all it really is, and that's what I figured out so many times going back to all the bad habits and everything. There needs to be a point in your life, and all the times where I've actually sustained not doing, like, video games, not playing video games, I don't really scroll that much, but there have been times in my life where I literally did none of this stuff except for corn. You know what I mean? That has been the biggest struggle for me, probably, I would say, in my whole life, which is kind of crazy that that's my biggest struggle, but I would say a lot of other guys would probably agree with that. But back to my point, I think that when it comes to all of those bad habits that I've like had time away from it for a long time, in those periods, the really all it was me just deciding that I was going to not do it anymore and sticking to that. And that becomes like my identity. When you are constantly doing something over and over, you have it as part of your identity. Like that habit is a part of you. You are the type of person that does this. You're the type of person that goes to the gym. You're the type of person that plays this sport. And in your mind, the only reason you probably believe that is because of your behavior. I mean, it's a loop in itself, and it reinforces itself. It does start with your belief, which will affect your behavior, right? If you believe you're someone that goes to the gym, you're probably going to go to the gym, which is going to reinforce that belief. And the problem with all the negative beliefs is you just constantly reinforce it whenever you do the bad habit. So the question is, how do I not believe that I am the type of person that plays video games a lot? How do I stop doing that when I do it all the time? Like, I have no evidence. I can't prove it to myself. And that's the question I ask myself a lot. Like, how do I stop doing this thing when I believe myself to be the person that does it, that has this bad habit, that can't get rid of it? And honestly, it just comes down to, like I was saying before, a decision. Because even though you want to, even though, you think it feels good and that it's, pleasurable to play these things or do these things, it's not worth it. And there has to come a point where you just say, I'm done. And that's that. And you stick to it. Because the only way you come to believe it and get evidence for it is actually sticking to it. It's making the decision and then sticking to your decision. Every time you've backed out on your decision, that's why you go back to it. Or that's why you fall back into the cycle. Because your mind thinks, oh, you lied to me. You weren't actually quitting. You weren't actually this or what you said you were. You still are that person. You still are that degenerate. You still are that gooner. Yeah, I know you. But then if you stick to what you said you were going to do, then your mind actually believes it, and then it comes into reality. Like, you are this person. You do things because you believe that you are the type of person that does it. It all stems from like your beliefs about yourself, who you think you are. If you didn't think of yourself as the type of person that does these bad habits, you wouldn't do them. If you didn't want to do the bad habits, you wouldn't do them. But of course you want to, and that's why you still do it. You choose to, and it's a part of who you are, who you think you are. Even no matter how many times you might say like, no, I don't do that, or I'm not the type of person to do that. You still continue to do the behavior. If you tell yourself those things and then you actually stick to the decision, you say, I'm not the type of person that does that, and then you actually stop and you say, I'm done, I've decided, I've quit. Then you will get to a point where you truly do believe it. But there's no cheat code, there's no method in there, and I know it sounds difficult, right? Because you have to say to yourself, I don't do that anymore, and then you actually have to not do it anymore. That's the hard part. There's no way around that like roadblock right there. There's no method, there's no secret like affirmation that's gonna get you there. You gotta do this visualization every single day. No, like that doesn't really get you there. Those things can help, but the truth is you are never going to, and sorry for if you have background noise, my family, but you're never going to get to that point if you yourself don't believe it or choose to acknowledge that you are like deciding to quit and this is something that's happening. If you say you're like trying to do it, it won't happen. And if you don't stick to it, then it won't happen because you'll never get to the point where it becomes true and you believe it. And I know I'm rambling a bit and I don't really know if this video is very good. Probably isn't. I just haven't posted in a long time and I got to get back to it. You know how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much more to say when it comes to being a bum with all those things. Like I always try to think to myself, how do I explain to people how it works? And it's like, I can't even explain to myself, or if I haven't done it myself, and I know there's no secret method, like I can't really make a video telling you guys, like, this is the secret way to stop doing this or stop doing that. Like, I don't know. Like, the only thing that I do know is that when you stick to the decision and you constantly tell yourself that you are the type of person that doesn't do something anymore, you're not a bum, you're not a degenerate, you slowly start believing it because you give yourself evidence. You prove to yourself, and then you believe. There's no way around that because you're proving to yourself that you are a degenerate when you do the degenerate stuff, when you do the bad habits. There's legitimately no way around this, like, hard cold truth, because there's no method, there's no secret, there's no magic potion that's going to get you to go do all the difficult things and not do any of the bad habits. There's just nothing like that. There's no secret way to quit bad habits. There's no secret way to become consistent with good habits. It's just you deciding to do it and actually following through with what you say. Making a promise to yourself and keeping that promise, not breaking it. Too many people just, and including myself, we break our promises to ourselves. And we don't trust ourselves. But if you want to learn how to trust yourself, you have to actually follow through on what you want and what you say you want. There's going to be like moments where it's difficult. There's going to be times where you want to stop or you want to go back to whatever bad habits, whatever bum activities you want to be doing. But there's nothing worse than this feeling of being a bum. Like, I'll tell you this, from someone who has gone from both sides, where I was just, my whole life I was an absolute just gaming bum. I was a just degenerate gaming nerd, gooner, still kind of, okay, well that one's stopping. That is stopping. It has stopped. There we go. Proving my own point in my video. No, I'm yapping. But I've lived both sides of the coin. And I'm telling you, the pain of doing difficult things and staying away from the bad habits is so much less than the pain of you knowing that you are not changing, that you are being an absolute bum every day, that you're not living your life to your fullest potential, that you don't feel satisfied deep down. That pain is so much worse. And it's a slower pain and it eats away at you over like a longer period of time. Whereas the pain of discomfort is almost in your face every single day. They do feel different. And that's why it's so hard to quit, because it's in the back of your mind. You need to bring this to the forefront of your mind. That change needs to happen. Or else you're going to let yourself keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, and it will never happen. It's a decision. I want you to know that. This is the main point. It's a decision. It's a now. It is not a tomorrow. It's not a I'll do it later. It's I'm doing this now. I'm changing now. I'm making the decision now to become this person. And you stay with that promise, with that decision for the rest of your life. Hope, like, that's the idea. And if you can do that, then you have changed. And you have sort of made it to the position that you want to be. You have become the person that you want to be. There's no way around that, though. And that's the difficult part about it. That's why most people don't change. Are you going to be one of those people that actually do change? I want to be one of those people. I know I can be. I know I have been. And maybe you're just like me. I think you are just like me. You just want to be gone from these bad habits. You want to be consistent. That's it. I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to live like a bum. Yeah, it's just a horrible, horrible way to live life, is what I've figured out. From living both sides, I'll tell you, the pain of that discomfort is so much better than the pain of just knowing that you aren't doing anything with your life. That is so much worse. So much worse than just facing your fears head on. All right. If you made it here, then good for you. Thank you. Thanks for watching, listening to all this yap. But I want to say some things before I finish it out, and I'm trying to do this video uncut. So I don't think there'll be any cuts. I don't think I'm going to even edit it. Just going to put it straight to YouTube. But what did I want to say? Okay, I know, I feel like I've said this so many times on this channel, but I want to I'm sorry for being pretty absent on the main channel over this past year. Definitely no excuse for it, just haven't been consistent. have not been consistent. That's the main problem I found in my life over the past year, and I'm fixing it. I'm not going to say I'm 100% just ready to grind, be consistent for the rest of my life, but I'm trying, and I'm doing. I am getting there. But there is definitely no excuse for me just not making videos, being lazy, being a bum, truthfully. And my mom's calling me, but yeah, I guess I'll just wrap it up there. Never stop improving. You'll be grateful for it later.